What's up everybody, welcome to Make Things Tiny. My name is Mick. So a few videos ago, I thought I had found the biggest scam in the entire industry, and I stand corrected. The video that you're about to see today is going to blow you away. We've got a company that's not making any headlines that we've got to put to the scammer test so that you can answer the question whether or not this is a scam. I guarantee you don't want to miss a second of this video. Make sure you watch to the end so you can get even more tips on what to do to protect yourselves, protect your wallets. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's figure out if this company that's not making any headlines is a scam. All right, welcome back. So today we're talking about whether or not this particular company that no one is really talking about is a scam. I want to give a shout out to the person who dropped this in the comments and sort of forcing me to dig deep on this one. It's a lot more intricate than I could have ever imagined. So we're going to talk about it. The main thing that I want to focus on for this video, it's super important, is whether or not something can be too good to be true in this industry. Obviously that answer is yes, but it's easier said than done to sort of go through the work and figure out whether something's too good to be true when you're kind of in the trenches on a Facebook group or you're on Instagram and you're really hunting for that perfect tiny house. So we're going to talk about whether or not when you see something that looks really nice and has a really cheap price, that's kind of our theme for the day, whether or not that's too good to be true. But let's get into it and let's talk about this specific company. I've got my notes. So our current company that we're putting to the scammer test today is Brooks Tiny Home Builders. It's a tiny home builder based here in California. I know there's a lot of stuff coming out of California. I got nothing for you there, but they sell plans for tiny homes as well. They build them. The majority of the content on their website is actually taken from other places. So that's our main thing today. We're going to walk through how we figured this out and where it's all coming from and what this all means for you guys and whether or not you think it's a scam. So we're not really going to go through like the whole website models agreement, but it's important to keep in mind because you do need to do your due diligence on this one. You do need to look at like everything you can find about a company. Sometimes things are hidden. So if we're going to the website for Brooks Tiny Home Builders, we're looking at whether or not they have a website. They do. We're going to talk about that. Remember, we got to do those reverse image searches and we got to look at testimonials as well. We're focusing on the website and particularly on the images today though. So this is the website for Brooks Tiny Home Builders. Super clean, right? They've got tons of tabs you can click on. Every single tab works. They've got a legitimate logo. You scroll down to the bottom, it's we've got the copyright for 2024. This photo of this tiny house is clean. They've got a website, they've got a phone number, they have little tabs for social media. The little tabs for social media don't work, but that can be fine if it's a new company and it's a new website. So there's a lot of potential issues, things to consider for the website. First up is the homepage. So when you go to the homepage, they have tiny homes that are being sold on the front page. But I did reverse image searches on quite a few of those homes, and it turns out that those photos are actually taken from several other builders' listings and or directly from their website. So we've got ones from Phoenix Park Models, which I had on the channel a couple of weeks ago. They were part of the Is a Park Model a Tiny Home video, Lakeland RV Center, Trueform Tiny, and many others, but these are the ones we're going to focus on. All right, so for the Phoenix Park Models example, the photos on the left for all of the images I'm going to show are the photos from Tiny Home Builders website. The photos on the right are the results of the reverse image searches for the exact image on the other builder's website. So on the left, you have a tiny home for sale from Phoenix. That's actually from Phoenix Park Models. It's being sold for $30K on their website. I know that this particular model is more than that. And so I did a reverse image search and that's how I found it here. So they're sort of like passing off this Phoenix Park Models tiny home as their own. The images are identical. When you do more digging, you can find that. Even the interior photos are exactly the same. For Lakeland RV, this is the tiny home that I looked up. So on the left is a tiny home, and then on the right, their park model is for sale. It's for sale for $85,000 on Brooks Tiny Home Builders website. For the Trueform Tiny example, this is an interesting one because the photo on the right, you can see from Trueform, it's not actually available to be sold yet. It's still in the design phase, and it's getting ready for production. But on the left, you see they took the photo and then put a lower price tag on it, and they are saying that it's available to be built right now. So in addition to the homepage, there's also a few potential issues on the actual plans section for their website and their FAQs as well too. So their plans page is taken almost word for word from tinyhomebuilders.com. Tiny Homes Builders is a well-known website where you can do a marketplace. I've posted listings there before, You can get plans, and you can also look up tiny house communities. So it's a great resource for those of you to check out. They've been in business for quite a while now, but they actually took quite a few things from their website. So from Tiny Home Builders, they took the section on the plans. It's word for word, it's identical. So the photo on the left is from Brooks Tiny Home Builders website. They talk about the intended audience. They show, believe this is SketchUp plans, and then the photo on the right you see is from Tiny Home Builders website, like their actual website, and it's taken word for word. They didn't change anything. All they did was change the font and the color. So pretty standard in terms of exactly just copying it. Another big one from the website for tinyhomebuilders.com versus Brook Tiny Home Builders was their the beginning of their plan site. It was literally a screenshot, so you could still see the outline. I don't know if you notice it here in this picture, but you can still see the outline from the original website because they copied it exactly and just pasted it in. The other one was the FAQs. So if you went to the FAQs for Brooks Tiny Home Builders, it's exactly the same as the FAQs for tinyhomebuilders.com. Word for word, again, just the fonts changed. I have an example here for where I can build my tiny home. They literally changed nothing and just copied and pasted it in. So the blog section was interesting. So a blog section for Tiny House Builders website, I don't know if any of you check those. I don't really check those. I wouldn't normally think to check them, but if you have an issue with one tab, you've got to check all the tabs. So this was a big one because the entire blog section was taken, just copied and pasted like screenshots from Tiny House Giant Journey. So Tiny House Giant Journey, for those of you who don't know, that's Jenna here on YouTube. Huge following, really awesome content. They actually took their exact blog and copied and pasted it, but they changed the dates. So I'll show you that one. So here there's their blog about like new tiny house furniture. They're saying it was posted on June 6th of this year, and it's by them, Brooks Tiny Home Builders. But I looked that one up, and that is actually from a posting that Jenna made on her blog in September of 2020. So all they did was change the name. And also she's in the photo. So this one was an interesting one for me to find. So it's like you took it exactly the way that it is. So if you don't know who she is and you don't watch, their channel, you're just gonna think it's a standard blog. But because I know, who they are, they're another YouTuber, then I was like, oh my gosh, this is, that's her. So that's a really, I don't know, that's an interesting one. I guess we'll just say it's an interesting one. They have another blog post as well from Tiny House Giant Journey. Again, they changed the dates. The Facebook page is another one. So there were several posts taken from other sources. They changed the names, they changed the model names, the dates, they changed the pricing. They were taken from the following companies so far. I haven't gone through their entire Facebook. It's pretty extensive, but I found, I cross-referenced things from Alternative Living Spaces, Designer Eco Tiny Homes in Australia, Vagabond Haven Tiny Homes, True Form Tiny as well. This was the big one that stood out for me. I don't know if those of you who have been on Brooks Tiny Home Builders Facebook page have seen this, but they've got this photo where they say that they've got a tiny house in their unit in Florida and it's ready to be built. And it just didn't sit right with me. So I was like, okay, let me try to find it. This actually took me a while to do. To do a reverse image search on it was one thing, but then I had to go through and try to find the exact posting from another place on Facebook, and I found it. So Brooks Tiny Home Builders is saying that on September 26th, which is not too long ago from when this current video of mine is you're watching it here, original upload date. So they're saying on September 26th, they were in the factory building this one, but Designer Eco Tiny Homes, which is based out of Australia, has the model number, it's theirs, and that was actually from August 13th. So they took all of those photos, repurposed them, I guess is the nice way to say it, because it's really just stealing at that point, and just said it was theirs and it was being built. So what's happening here? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more. There's a lot more on Facebook. There's more things on their website. I think they actually took a lot of listings from tinyhomebuilder.com and just copied and pasted them, changed the pricing. I even found a video reel from Instagram from True Form Tiny where they just put their name, like their website over it, so it just looks like it's theirs. So I want to talk to you about what's happening here, and then obviously what you can do about it, or how it happened and what we can do about it. So it's a new website, right? Came out this year, 2024. Not too many people are going to find out about it. It's not a business name that's registered in California. They post in multiple places, right? So you know they cast a wide net. So it's just like kind of like subtle sprinklings of like taking other people's things instead of concentrating in all one place. They're beautiful photos with low prices. This is the thing I want to focus on. I've seen this before on other Facebook groups. I'm not here to talk about any of those. I don't know them. I haven't done any due diligence on them. We're only talking about Brooks Tiny Home Builders right now. But if you see a tiny home that looks custom built and it looks like it would cost $150,000 and you're seeing a $35,000 price tag, that is a giant red flag in my opinion. Please, please, please proceed with caution, if at all, because it's just not possible. It's not possible in this market to get a $200,000 tiny home in terms of the quality of the materials, the build, the luxury in terms of the interior for $30K. It isn't gonna happen. So if you see a beautiful home for 10 grand, I need you to really think about whether or not that could be a scam. Okay, the bottom line here is that they're playing off the need for cheaper housing. We have talked about this. This is a highly unregulated industry in a housing market like unlike we've ever seen before, really. At least, you know, I'm a millennial in my generation. Like, that's what they're playing off of. People want cheap. You know, it's what they can afford. So that's what's going on here in terms of that. So scam test results, this is a no-brainer. The website is a huge X. The models do not exist. I don't know anything about the agreement, but I don't need to know anything about the agreement to tell you that, in my opinion, Brooks Tiny Home Builders is 100% a scam. And it's a dangerous one because they are taking so much content from so many other places and passing it off as their own. I don't even know how many companies are involved in this or how many people just, you know, in terms of who, you know, I've got to reach out to and let them know that like someone's taking all their stuff. Like, it could be dozens. So yeah, this is definitely something that you need to be very careful of because it's really intricate. What else you can do? So in this particular case, just reverse image searching an image, if you would pick the right one, would probably pull up something where you could think, okay, maybe this is a red flag, but you would need to search all of the content. So now I'm gonna give you more to do, but you need to be looking at videos, images, even the words, because you can, if you copy and pasted in some of the content on their website, it would have pulled up something else, right? Like this exists somewhere else. And you need to be cautious of extremely low prices, which I know is really hard because you're all strapped for cash, you're on a budget, and this market is skyrocketing in price. But I would much rather have you buy an $80,000 house, or even, you know, worst case scenario, have to take out a loan for $100K or $151, than give someone $30,000 you're never gonna see again. But what do you think? What do you think about this particular case with Brooks Tiny Home Builders? Have you heard about them? Again, shout out to the person that brought this up. Like, I had no clue what I was walking into when I went to do, you know, the search on this one. Like, I was blown away by the fact that every single picture came up as someone else's, all of the words, the screenshots, everything. So yeah, if there's anything you guys, you have comments about anything, like you have questions, like drop in the comments. I want to know what you think about this one. Have you seen anything else like this before? I've never really seen anything this intricate before. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to think tiny. I will see you guys in the next one.